Hello my friends, James Hess, the Psychophysiologist. How are you? I hope you are fine. I'm here in my little circle of hell to show you very quickly something that is extremely useful that I've discovered for cleaning up weight plates that are old and rusty. Now, if you think about it, there's no real reason to ever throw out a metal object. They last pretty much forever, whether it's a plate or a bar or a kettlebell. The vast majority of the time, if it's got a bit of rust on it, it's fine, it still works. It might look a bit manky, but it does essentially the same thing. If you've got a problem with getting rust on your clothes, I suggest you get another hobby where something like that's important. The main problem, most of the time, is the fact that they start to not fit on the bar properly, because the center holes start to rust. Now, I rehome weight plates that I pick up from garage sales and sometimes on auctions online, that kind of thing. And I've got friends, obviously, who lift weights for 3 months and then give up and then need to get rid of their plates. But a lot of the time they will last longer, and sometimes I guess we just feel a bit better about them if we clean them up. So, there's two ways to clean rust off something generally. There's mechanical methods and there's chemical methods. The most obvious mechanical method is obviously sandpaper or any other kind of abrasive emery paper, etc., etc. Now, you can't do a little pile like that, or God forbid soon I have to redo my rack, which is, it's been about 5 years or so since he last had a coat of paint, so he needs to get done. Now, I'm not doing all that with sandpaper, and you wouldn't want to either, because there's a lot of it. So, a lot of the time what I've done in the past, and what's quite difficult sometimes, is using chemical methods. So, what you end up with chemical methods, you get something from the hardware stores will probably have 6 or 7 versions of something like this. It's essentially just phosphoric acid. Sometimes it has a little bit of extra juice added, but essentially it's phosphoric acid. It works okay. I don't find it's really effective for that cooked in kind of rust, or it's really seriously properly oxidized. I'll give you a look at some I've got here in a container. Now that's got rust flakes in it and a little bit of rust on the outside, but not really a whole lot. It's only really good for light soiling. So I've had a problem for a while with this, so I came up with something a lot better. Now, in your normal hardware store, they will sell an attachment for a drill or an angle grinder. My version's for an angle grinder, which obviously is a lot more powerful and a lot more effective than most normal drills. It is essentially little twisted pieces. This attachment is little twisted pieces of wire, and like little cables. And they end like that, and they're ugly, and they're really sharp. And they come in this rosette kind of pattern. Now, that is a perfectly normal 9-inch angle grinder, also known as a Widowmaker, charming piece of equipment. Now, you can do this one-handed if you're wicked super jacked, and of course I am. So, what we need to do is simply that's just from that little one-handed touch there. You can see it's gone right back down to raw iron. When you get good with it, a little bit of practice, maybe 30 seconds, the side of an entire weight plate, it rips the rust right off and throws it away. It's easily the most effective thing I found for cleaning up metal. It's going to make cleaning this whole rack up an absolute pleasure. One last thing. A lot of the time there's not much point painting it afterwards, and I kind of like the dull iron color anyway. So instead of paint, this White Knight stuff, Rust Guard, there's one called Clear Guard. Easily the best stuff. Also, it doesn't have any restrictions on its sale, so if you're a kid and you find it difficult to buy spray paint in a can, they won't obviously have any trouble selling you something in a can that's perfectly clear, because there's nothing that you can do if you want to go and paint the side of someone's building. It's pretty much useless. So, rip into it and go to a hardware store. Have some practice with it. It's actually a pretty good workout in itself, so you can consider it a warm-up, and after you're done cleaning up your plates, you can actually get about to putting them on the bar and lifting them. Take it easy.